Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren from North Shore Tropicals, and as you can see, I am in the back warehouse of our shop. I've pulled a few, well 10. I've pulled 10. Ooh, this one's trying to sneak in the video. I've pulled 10 of some of my larger plants in my personal collection, and there's a mix of anthuriums, mostly anthuriums, one philodendron, actually sorry, two philodendron and one alocasia. So let's get into it. First plant I have for you guys today is this beauty. Woo. So this one is one that I bought in early, let me try and get them closer here for you, early 2020. And I actually bought this one as a Anthurium black vicii. Do you guys see how stunning and red this new leaf is? I just can't even. It's so beautiful. I do think that now I've seen these being marketed as vicii moodianum hybrid, and I can see it. If you guys have one and you know what it is, maybe you can comment below. And as you can see, it's very red in the emergent leaf, and it does harden off to a bit darker kind of burgundy green. But I mean, it's beautiful. Look at this. I don't think that this really shows the size. It's huge. This is one of my favorite plants. It's been pretty easy to grow and size up for me. So once again, this one is bought as Anthurium black vicii, possibly vicii crossed with a moodianum. So pretty. And staying along similar lines, this guy I have here is a vicii. So this is a big one that I have. I actually don't remember when I bought this one. It probably would have been a little while, probably at least a year ago. But as you can see, the leaves are sizing up nicely. This is the oldest leaf on the plant. And then we had this one. And then we had this big guy here. We can get him in the camera. And there is a new leaf coming out now. So hopefully he gets bigger than this one. I feel like these guys don't get enough love as they should. They're just so easy care. You can put them anywhere and they're just tough as nails. They grow. They don't give too much fuss. I've had no problems growing this guy at all. So this guy is Anthurium vicii, otherwise known as the king anthurium. And the next one I have for you is a philodendron, a big philodendron. And it is a Philodendron genevieveanum. So I bought this one as quite a mature plant. So these three leaves here, here, and here. Oh, and one more back here. Came with the plant. I do find this one to be a little bit finicky. So this is the newest leaf here in my care. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller. It did, not sure if you can tell from here, but it did rot a leaf or two kind of in the rooting and acclimating process before this one came out. But it seems to have adjusted now and seems to be growing nicely. So I do hope that the next leaf on this one will size up bigger than that one. Does anybody else have this plant in their collection? It also has fuzzy petioles. Let's see if we can show you the fuzzy petioles there. Not super hairy like a serpent's, but a little bit of fuzz. So once again, that is a Philodendron genevieve. The next one I have to show you guys is one that I got fairly recently, I believe within the last couple months. If you watch Alice's videos, you will have seen it in that one. And it is so I bought this plant as a Regale crossed with clarinervium. And it's put out its first leaf in my care, which is this new one up here. So pretty. And I actually pollinated it. You see the inflow on that guy. So I pollinated this one with a laminum GG. It's been pollinated for probably about a month now, and the inflow hasn't died. So I'm hoping that it is raised a little bit, but time will tell. So this is a cool one. I think it's so far, it seems to be a pretty easy grower. It's got nice chunky roots and ready for a repot. And I mean, the new leaf is just perfect. Absolutely perfect. So once again, this guy is a Regale crossed with a clarinervium. All right, so the next one is actually the plant that I pollinated the last plant from, which is this bad boy. This one's gonna be hard to show you. It's so big. So this is a laminum GG, and these were the two initial leaves that I got when I imported it. And it's since grown this leaf for me. This is a hard one to show you guys. This one. And this big one. This plant is honestly one of my favorites. I was so shocked when I got this plant and I felt the leaves because they're so thick. I didn't think they were going to be as thick as this, and they're just gloss, like they're just like leather. So thick. I mean, look at this. It's huge. So huge. And they're dark, and they're everything. And so far have been really easy growers for me. I think this is another one I just threw right into this pot and left it, and it just rooted out no problem. I don't often acclimate in aeroid mix because I just find it to be a bit of a harsh substrate sometimes when you're acclimating. My preference is always sphagnum moss, but there's certain times, certain plants that I will just throw into aeroid mix. Sometimes it's just because the plant already has a really big root system and I feel like it's going to be okay straight into aeroid mix. And sometimes I like to just experiment and see which plants will do better in moss, and there are some that I just don't even ever attempt to throw straight into aeroid mix because I know if I don't get some good roots in sphagnum moss first, it's not going to be an easy transition for them. But this one took it like a champ and just rooted. Grew a new leaf. It actually had, when it put this leaf out, it grew this leaf and two inflorescence at the same time. So I did freeze that pollen, and I've since thrown it on. I think we got enough pollen to, I think I pollinated 6 other plants with it. So fingers crossed that they take, and we'll have some GG crosses in the springtime. So once again, beautiful. Woo! Anthurium Nigro laminum. Next one that I have to share with you guys is one of my all-time favorites. I love this plant. I love all the crosses that are made with it, and this is one of my mother plants who has an inflow right now that hopefully we will use, or I should say it's one of my daddy plants because this one has just been used in pollen, but I do hope to use this one to make some new crosses. This is one of 3 that I have pollinating right now, but this is, I think, my biggest plant. It also has a nice new leaf. So, can anybody guess what it is? Anthurium luxurians. And there's that inflow. I mean, what is there? How could you not love this plant? I mean, it is just so stunning. Like, tell me something that's wrong with this plant, please, because I can't find any problems with it. I just love it so much. I'm very excited for this one and the new hybrids that we're gonna try and make. I really badly want to make a vicii luxurians hybrid. That is my goal for springtime. So I'm going to be putting this. Here's another thing you might not know about me because I haven't shown one of these yet, but I have a bit of a thing for vicis, and I think I have 6 to 8 mother plant vicis that I keep because I got a thing for them and I love them, so hey. But I'll show you guys that one day from vici land. So I'm going to put this pollen on probably 3 or 4 vicis and more crossing my fingers and hope that it takes. So once again, this beauty right here is a Anthurium luxurians. All right, so the next plant I have is an Alocasia. Did I say that funny? Okay, so the next plant I have for you is an Alocasia. I tend to have a love-hate relationship with Alocasias. I do really love their foliage and, you know, just how different they are. But I don't love growing them, to be honest. They're a bit finicky at times. They don't hold on to a lot of leaves, I find, at sometimes. And just generally not my favorite. But if you were to ask me how many Alocasias I have in my collection, it's quite a few. I tend to keep one of everything just to grow it and see if I love it. I've been tricked by a lot of plants, things that I thought I would love and then I really don't, or vice versa, things that I kept just to keep it and grow it and see how I liked it, and ended up really loving it. This plant came to me, it was imported, and you know, typical of an Alocasia, they tend to lose all their foliage or at least go down to 1 leaf after import and during the acclimation process. So this one I believe went down to no leaves, and it has since come back with 2 pretty big leaves. I bought this plant as Alocasia watsoniana. I know it's got another name, longa something. Can't pronounce it, so I just call them Watson. But yeah, so Alocasia watsoniana, the leaves are, you know, a pretty good size. But again, it just has the 2 with no third one in sight. But isn't it beautiful? It is so beautiful. And I'm really enjoying this one, actually. It is, I hope that the new growth will be just as big. This kind of popped out of nowhere. This is Alocasia longiculoba, is that it? Watsoniana. The next one on the list is another Anthurium, and I've just actually recently put him on a pole. This is my Anthurium pallidiflorum. I hope you can see that. He is like so long. Look at that. So he was let to grow kind of in a downward fashion. So I'm trying to train him. Let's see if you can see that. See how it's kind of going down. And I mean, really, I want him to climb the pole. So we're gonna try and train him to go up the pole a bit and bring this leaf. I mean, this leaf is so much bigger than the other ones. It kind of looks silly, but I mean, this plant went from, look at this leaf, how little itty bitty the smallest leaf is, to now this guy. And he's so beautiful. This is another Anthurium that if you don't have one of these, I don't know what you're doing. Honestly, they're so easy. I actually have another one of these at my house, and it sits in my plant room at home, and I don't run humidifiers at my plant room. I don't keep it very warm. It lives probably at, I would say, between 18 and 22 degrees and like 30% humidity to like maybe a maximum 50% right now, and it's lovely. Like, it, no browning, no nothing. It's so easy to grow and size up. I mean, look, this is some of the older leaves here. They're just tiny. And then this guy. So it's lovely. I do wish that this petiole would go up a little bit, but we'll train him. We'll train him in time. So that, once again, is an Anthurium pallidiflorum. All right, the last plant is big. He's big. I don't know how I'm going to show him to you, but I'm going to go get him. Here he is. Okay, this is my Philodendron upii. I hope you guys can see the whole plant. This is the newest leaf right here. Like, look at this. It's huge. I don't even know if we can get him in the whole frame. It's huge. I got this plant not too long ago. I did buy it as a larger specimen, but it has just been a champ growing, like sizing up crazy. I think I'm gonna get him on a pole. The wingspan on these plants is insanity. I mean, it's like the whole length of my arms. So you're going to need a lot of space for this kind of plant as they mature. Look at that. This guy has to live kind of up in the rafters here because there's no space for him. So that is my Philodendron upii. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my larger plants in my collection. I'm glad you were here to join me today, and thanks to everybody who has subscribed and liked my videos. It means a lot to me. See you in the next one.